back with Rabbi Joseph Potosnik and David Barton, and Pastor Tom Mullins is with us now. I want to get to the Black Robe Regiment here and some more questions, but I want to pick up where we were just talking during the break. And that was, I can see why there are a lot of people that are Jewish that do not trust Christians. I mean, there's a lot of Christians I don't trust as a Christian. But you know, the past, when I was over, over at the western wall of the temple, and you go underneath, and you see some of the things. There is one giant doorway, the closest you can get to the Holy of Holies. You know this story, David? You want to tell the story?
No, you got it.
It is where the Jews went after the Romans came in, or the Crusaders came in, and said, we have a place to pray, and it's the closest to the Holy of Holies. And very sacred thing. Well, they were walled in by the Crusaders, and the last thing they saw was a torch being thrown in to burn them all alive, and the cross, as they were walled up. Now, when in 1967 happened, and the Jews could come back in, they tried to take that wall down to recover the bodies. They found a few bodies that were all charred and exactly what they expected to find. But then the Muslims went crazy and said, you're trying to dig under the Temple Mount, and so they had to wall it back up. It's a wildly profound place to see. So, I mean, I understand people saying, what's your motivation here?
Yeah, but when's the last time there was a forced conversion? I mean, I think, you know, after hundreds and hundreds of years and expressions of support, I think we recognize that we have some real friends here. So the hidden agenda theory that I hear periodically, for me, doesn't carry any weight. I look at what people do, and the amount of support we get from the evangelical community, from Christians who are there for us. It is tremendous. It is tremendous.
The other thing you have to remember is during that period, they just as quickly killed Christians, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you had the Inquisition going at the same times. It was just atrocious behavior.
You know, the thing that David and I talked about, because my faith is kind of the outcast in the Christian world. And I said to somebody who met me, a very good Christian, and he said it with compassion, but I've heard it the other way, too. You know, Glenn, gosh, you're just doing some amazing things, and I know you're following the Spirit, but I think you're on the wrong side. And because my church is not accepted by others, when are we going to get to a point to where we look at people's fruits and we can say, by the fruits ye shall know them? Because I know a lot of Jews that are, by their fruits, are great and really wicked. Christians, really wicked, really great. I mean, I know a lot of people who are evangelicals or Catholics or whatever. It's the fruits that make the difference, isn't it?
You know, the prophet Samuel, when David was selected to be the king of Israel, and he was the most unlikely one to be selected. But a great line that Samuel declared to us from the inspiration of God is that man looks on the outward appearance of things, but God looks upon the heart. And I think the closer we draw in our faith to God, the more we begin to look beyond the surface and look to the heart of the issues.
Right.
And we have a common heart and a common bond and a common love for God and love for Israel, which is uniting the evangelical church along with the rabbi and Israel.
You know, I find one thing, if you want to measure what's in the heart, let's see what's in the hands. Let's see what people do.
Right.
There are a lot of people who tell you they love humanity, but they don't visit the person next door. So it's the mitzvah, it's the doings.
Who asked the question was, where's Jeff Rice in New Jersey? Where's Jeff? Jeff, you remember your question? What was your question?
Oh, my question was, what was your favorite part of your experience in Israel, and what was your least favorite part?
Favorite part was the people of Israel. They are absolutely amazing. Hands down, the memory that I will never forget is a man who walked up to me at the Western Wall, and he said, thank you, we feel alone at times. They're such courageous people. The worst, the least favorite was meeting with people of all faiths, and a few people came in, and it was about them. And I thought, how can you possibly make this about you? How can you possibly? They would say, I know what time it is. I know what's coming. You're right. You're right. Now listen, you know, you probably want to have a little something, you know, with me. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. I couldn't believe it. The people who say, I love you, I am compassionate, or I want to do this, and then let's see what's in their hands. It's so frustrating. So frustrating.
Can I add one to that, too?
But that happens everywhere.
When we were there, I think one of the things that got me very significantly was we were there for their Memorial Day, followed by their Independence Day.
Amazing.
And unlike America, in Genesis it says that God made things and it was the evening and the morning. So their holidays start at sundown and go through. So when we went there to the Western Wall, under the Western Wall, or in the tunnels, when we went in, it was still before sunlight, and therefore it was still Memorial Day. We came out.
The flame was burning.
We came out, and it was after sundown, and so it was now Independence Day. And you go from a somber thing to celebrating and dancing and cheering and singing there at the Western Wall. But on Memorial Day, when we were going down the road, the sirens blow, and everybody in the nation stops for like 2 minutes. If you're in the middle of a 4-lane interstate, you all stop and get out in 2 minutes of silence to recognize those who have fallen in defense.
And also, I have to tell you, it does prove how stupid I am, because it was on Independence Day, and you know, here in America, July 4th, we're all out cooking with a barbecue, and everybody was in the parks cooking, and I'm like, wow, look, even here, everybody's having hot dogs, and everybody went, no, they're not having hot dogs. Back in just a minute.